Yeah, let me do the intro, man.
Whenever you want to do, like, your thing.
Whoa! Bro! It's the Crusaders Talk, Advice, and Banner calling, man. Totally. Where we're gonna talk about talking, advice, and banner only on the Pregnant Stallion Radio, man. Shooting you last Sunday's pregnancies out today to you. We got Brother and the Nazis, man. Reach out.
Dude, I can taste the magic.
Whoa, can you also taste Brother Sart Magnifico, man? He's like totally there. He's happening, man.
God, why am I doing this?
Whoa.
I don't know why I'm here.
And now I'm shady, man. I'm like, totally in there, man. I'm totally in that moment, man. I'm in my own head.
I'm not a part of this at all.
Whoa.
I do not subscribe to such tendencies.
Actually, I think the way to do this is if he would talk like that, we would have like 3 hours of show without any content.
And 10,000 viewers, because they'd all be stoned. They don't care about content, they're stoned.
We're doing a banter show. In case you haven't noticed, this is a banter show. This is what a banter show sounds like.
Our show is like patchouli. It smells different every time you watch it.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
I was totally gonna fight you on that one until you said the magic word, watch. Like, he's trolling me, help! Oh, well, this is setting the tone. This is setting the smell.
One way of setting the tone, yeah.
Okay, so there are a lot of them instance. I want to smell the show.
So,
gotta like smell the essence, man. Smell it, love it, be
I'm
with
actually
it.
Really surprised and happy that Sark could join us tonight because
I almost didn't like this entire podcast. I mentioned earlier to our pre-show viewers that it was just destined to fail because we've actually recorded this show like 2 weeks ago, and because I had no internet at the time, Shade was on recording, and he had one job and he couldn't do it. I'm just kidding. Stuff happens. It didn't work out.
Yeah, well,
I've been sick since like Thursday, so I almost wasn't gonna make it, but I'm still here, and as you can tell, I'm still pretty stuffed up. Our guest is sick and didn't make it today, so we're barely pulling through here. But you know what? The show must go on. So our poster that I have here for our live stream viewers is not exactly accurate.
I've heard of this this podcast curse that says basically that it will happen sometime. Your episode will be lost and gone, or your episode will be so mangled that you can't decipher it. And this has been happening to us like the last couple of weeks, so please bear with us. But actually, Sark, that's not what I was going to say. I wasn't going to say like, oh, you're sick, our guest Hannah couldn't make it, or anything like that. Actually, I'm surprised you made it because, you know, it's the World Championship ice hockey going on right now. And
is it? I hadn't noticed. I really don't care for sports, Shade. I couldn't care less. But yeah, I know my dad's been yelling and hollering all day.
Canadian not caring about hockey.
What can I say? What can I say?
Well, actually,
break everything.
That it was the cold poutine that destroyed that show.
Must have been.
That must have been it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Well, but we're gonna make do with what we have, and
it's the way to be.
We'll get back to that topic because we basically unlocked the secrets of the internet, and that's why the episode disappeared.
Yeah. This is our super secret, lucrative episode that just doesn't want to exist. But you know what?
We solved it. Actually, you solved it.
We solved all of the internet.
Yeah,
and just as a spoiler,
Syria in the process or something, and
the answer to the internet is in fact 43, because life is 42. So
you know, distill the internet into binary. Yes, we did it all. But Yeah, that was too much. Sorry, guys. We'll try again. We'll build up to it slowly, bit by bit. We'll unravel it again from another angle or something. It's like the internet is one big ball of basically, and we are just three kittens just pawing at it. But if we get to the center, it rolls out of reach. Yes. So we're gonna dance. Ammonitis, you. What have you been up to?
First of all, can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, now you're back.
Okay, cool. Because it says that Skype has crashed, but you guys can hear me. Anyways, I'm up to making sure that I'm able to stay on the show right now. But other than that, I'm working on this kind of video type thing, and it's been a lot of fun, a lot of stuff being involved, but other than that, it's sort of this kind of review thing, and I don't want to get too much away. Mainly because I have no idea how it's going to turn out. But it's going to be interesting nonetheless.
You're being a tease.
I know, I'm such a tease. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness, girl. It is such a tease. The way you wear lingerie, it's like, oh my goodness. It's like a passion flower just waiting to bloom.
It's just fabulous. Fabulous.
No, oh my god.
What the world?
I just even with him sometimes. I just can't even.
Whether you just went full robot.
Gosh.
Anyways, let's get on to we're 6 minutes into our ramble. Let's get into the actual topic. Or not. Yes? Maybe? Can we? Please? Could you please? Bantering, and we're going to go on to what we've been trying to do for like 3 weeks, and that's how do I internet? Basically, how not to be a complete troll magnet and not to be a tool on forums, image boards, etc. Pretty easy stuff.
Talk about it. Do you think we can actually do that? Do you think left?
Well, as much as the forces that be don't want to allow us to do our show, we're going to go ahead and do it anyways.
Chicken.
The police, man.
Chicken.
The police.
We're such a
moral
bunch
values
of
here.
rebels.
Rebel without a cause. Well,
rebels. Silly, stop swearing already. I actually listened back to like the 4th episode or something since the revival, since we went independent, man. And I noticed that I didn't censor anything. It's like, you're all a bunch of potty mouths.
Well, our show used to be really awful, so. You know what? Got a little better.
Apple juice. Well, Ammonitis is just getting some apple pie, as always. It's just how it goes. Yes.
It's fantastic.
There's apparently, we are distracting some pony who's, listening to us in the stream. That's too bad. I'm sorry. We'll try to minimize our,
comedic banter. So we're just gonna.
Sure, we'll go with that.
You know what?
Yeah,
for this week, let's just minimize everything down. No fun, no laughter allowed whatsoever. Just gonna do our solid. Today, we're going to talk.
I like that. We're entertainers. Yeah.
We're professionals, man. Coming to you straight from the Pregnant Stallion radio station. That's right. And you can tune into us live every Monday night at 4 a.m. Central European Time. Or some strange Northern American continent time on Sunday.
It'll be about 10 p.m. Eastern.
And Ammonitis will be back with a pie very soon, and then we can.
Or he won't
jump
at all, and we'll just kind of continue without him. You know, these are things that we deal with pretty much weekly with someone who just can't handle the internet.
And questions arise, and every now and then, hey, why can't we just have a smooth running show? And it's always, hey.
Because it's not quite as fun that way. Also, I'm back. Hello.
Perfect timing. That was perfect.
While you're here, Ammonitis, shall we crack open a question and see if you can answer it for us?
Just as long as you keep all the goop off of me, I'm fine. Yes, crack open a question.
Absolutely no guarantees. No guarantees.
Yeah.
But, Shade, you said you had some questions that we should tackle before going to the topic at hand.
Yeah, well, actually, 2 of the questions I've got are on topic or semi-on topic. But I've also got a strange off-topic question. You want to start with that?
Sure, we'll start with that.
Yeah, Ammonites is just giving us feedback. It's okay. This actually is part of a professional mixdown.
Hold on. Sorry. Alright.
We strive only to make things as difficult as possible for you, Shade.
It's okay. I make the filters already, and now I just wait and spend 3 hours and then listen back to everything and censor everything. Oh. Well, anyway, this particular question comes from someone who does not want to be named on air, so this is an anonymous. And this person
How mysterious.
asked 2 questions, one which is completely nonsensical, and the other is on topic, and we'll start with the nonsensical question because that's just how we roll. Ladies and gentlemen, who is your favorite rock and roll drummer?
Oh. Well.
Probably for me, the dude from that one band.
Dude from that one band?
Yeah, he's good.
He's pretty chill, man.
Totally.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He has that major crash cymbal power going on, and he has that strange hi-hat drum roll thingy, and with the thing and the talk.
Yeah, totally.
The snare and bass drum.
Man, I love that. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. How about you, Mr. Sarge?
That's kind of a hard one. Like, I don't know a whole lot of drummers. Dave Grohl, he's,
Yeah.
I forget what band he's in right now, but he's a guy. He's pretty good. He's pretty talented. But I also really like
He did a nice part in, well, of course, he played in Nirvana, man.
Yeah, he was in Nirvana.
But he also did the Foo Fighters, man. But he doesn't play drums in it.
He's also in Tenacious D. He was the drummer for Tenacious D, which, if you don't know, that's the band, quote-unquote, that Jack Black had. It's pretty funny. But I also have a lot of respect for...
He also played on an album, Songs for the Deaf by the Queen of the Stone Age, which was a pretty good drum example, yes. Go on.
Also, I have a lot of respect for the drummer from Green Day, and as much as not everybody likes Green Day, they're well, to put it lightly, they're sellouts. But... He's pretty notorious for being a really fun guy, and he pulls pranks on all the opening bands and stuff like that. So,
hold on, you touched upon one of my pet peeves there.
Uh-oh.
Sell out. You said sell out, which is really like, oh, this band is cool and real, but now they had a #1 hit single. Now they're not sell out.
Their music went from punk to pop music, and that's not even an exaggeration.
No,
they sold out.
They were punk pop music from the get-go.
Oh. Fair enough. But this guy, there was, I forget what band it was, but it was just this kind of an amateur band that was opening for them at some concert, and pretty much they had all their pyrotechnics set up, and this drummer, he goes by the name Trey Cool, but I think his name is like Francis or something like that. But he set off all the fireworks that this band wasn't expecting, and this amateur band had no idea what they were doing. Pyrotechnics just going off everywhere, and that wasn't supposed to be happening, and they're freaking out, but they played on. And this drummer's just in the background laughing.
Show must go on.
He's a troll.
But but he's a fun guy. He's cool.
So I gather that you like trolls. It's not just
that's shockingly in relation to our topic today. But no, he's a funny guy, I guess. And whenever there's like the camera's moving on the stage and stuff like that, he makes weird faces all the time. It's pretty funny.
I like myself. I like me. Oh wait, I don't.
That's
I don't need to say that. That was a joke. I actually just wanted to name drummers I like. I could list like a million of them, but I'll spare you the Grant Harts and the Nick Masons of the world. I'm thinking more in the direction of like Derek Brostrom. He played drums for the Meat Puppets, this country punk band from 80s, 90s.
Country punk band?
Country punk, yeah. I'll link you up.
Oh dear.
Sometime. And
link me up, yo.
Who else? Albert Bouchard from the Blue Oyster Cult.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty much the epitome of what you want a rock and roll drummer to be like. He has mad drum rolls and and he doesn't show up too much. Only in jest. Like,
I'd say my favorite drummer has to be that one-armed dude from Def Leppard.
I was thinking the same one too.
Because he's an awesome drummer with one arm.
Like, that's mad respect for that. One arm and he's drumming better than a lot of people can do. Like, that's pretty amazing. I was thinking the same thing too, actually, but I couldn't remember which band he was from. But yeah, it was Def Leppard. Def Leppard.
Just imagine what would the Spinal Tap experience be like if he hadn't existed. It just wouldn't be the same.
Pour some sugar on me. Can't get enough.
Alright, hey, watch it. We'll
Don't fat me up.
No, be careful. Sing any more and we'll get sued.
Oh no, we'll get
that now, would we? You know what? That would be fantastic publicity.
Well, the other question that this guy phrased actually verges halfway into the topic, so, just to warm us up a bit. And I'm actually kind of curious what you guys are going to answer. Let me just look it up. Okay.
Oh, so prepared.
What do you say to someone who obviously, quote-unquote, likes you when you don't like them?
That's a good one. Dun, dun, dun.
Schematic. Well, it really depends on what they're saying to me. If they're telling me straight up that they like me, then I'd be like, I like you too, as a friend. I mean, I don't think it'd quite work. Just being honest like that.
Okay, you want to act this out? Okay, have a nice. You ready?
Yeah, I'll start it out. I'll hit the ground running on this, so speak.
Hey,
Do you need a cough drop? Are you okay? Should I get someone to help you? Are you choking?
I really like your eyes.
Oh, thank you. I like my eyes too.
I really like your boobs.
As a male, I do not have very pronounced. But if that is what you're into, I'm glad I have proficient enough ones for it.
You wanna go out with me?
Let's see. With you. Maybe, standing next to you as I leave this building, sure, we could talk. But beyond that, I don't really think it will quite work out. I'm sorry. This hurts you more than it hurts me.
Quite a bit, apparently.
So, okay, that's your next question.
I'm not into motorcycles, okay? I don't want to date a motorcycle. They're too noisy.
And you don't think I'll be terrible in bed.
How do you, to rephrase the question, how do you turn someone down without completely destroying them?
I want to answer this actually, if I might, because I actually deal with this quite a bit. I have more than a few people that admirers, let me say.
What?
Which I don't know where it comes from.
Ladies,
but it happens quite a bit. Basically, yeah, you don't want to hurt their feelings, obviously, but you also, you don't need to completely reject them, shut them down. You can still be friends with someone without having anything further than that. And sometimes reminding someone that, because if they like you because they admire things about you, then being friends with someone, sometimes that's quite often. What am I trying to put with that?
I guess it really depends on whether this person knows you already.
Yeah. And I mean,
if this
even if
person is just a stranger who just came upon your way and liked the way you style your name, then it's, a little bit different.
It is very much different, because, I mean, they're not so attached necessarily, and it's something that just, at first sight, like, hey, you're pretty cool, then you can easily just kind of be friends with that person, because, I mean, you're not dealing with the same amount of pressure. But in my experience, just when it comes to people that know you a little bit better, you can kind of offer friendship, talk to them a little bit, remind them that you don't want anything further. Don't lead them on. Like, for God's sakes, don't lead them on, because I've seen that happen, and that's not good.
Yeah. Yes. See, the longer you wait with making your not feelings or other feelings known, the more potentially crushing it could be. So think of it this way: if you say, like, put it up front, like, I appreciate it, but I don't feel the same way as you do, but I would like to be your friend. They could be hurt, or they could completely lose interest in you or something. But if you do that, like, a year from now, that's like a drama bomb. That's not just a normal drama bomb. It's a Hiroshima drama bomb.
I think there's a few things to keep in mind.
Fire.
There's a few things to keep in mind when it comes to that. First of all, everybody has been in, well, most people, normal people, have been on the opposite end of that one as well, and it sucks sometimes. But as well, you don't want to lead them on. You don't want to keep them guessing either. The sooner you just get things out of the way, it's easier for everyone. But you also have to remember that this person is really attached to you. They're going to end up getting hurt, because the only way that they're going to not end up getting hurt is if they got their way, really. And it's not really going to be best for everyone if that happens. So never pity date someone, because I've been pity dated, and it sucks a lot.
Oh, it fights for everybody, because there will be resentment on every side. It's just... you see, if I mention, like, a passing interest in someone, actually, this is kind of a tricky subject for me, because it doesn't really happen a lot to me. But if someone blows me off, I mean, in a sort of a friend sort of way, I have the same thing. Like, if somebody just completely refuses to reciprocate, then yeah, I feel kind of bad for a day or two or something, and sometimes even maybe later it will come back, and I will feel bad about that. But if, like, somebody like I've been interacting with for years, someone just suddenly goes like, yeah, actually I was never really interested in you, and then I'm gonna go, but don't go, for goodness sake, don't go the very subtle route in your effort to not hurt somebody, because people who don't get the hints, you need to be blunt, basically.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, your question is, how do I tell someone? It's just, you tell them as you would tell somebody else. Almost.
You tell them as you would have someone else tell you. Do unto others as you would do to yourself, as you would have them do to you. That's a very famous
golden rule.
The only caution
I would give, really, that only prudent element is, you don't tell the whole truth. You don't tell them why, unless they ask. You don't tell, like, well, I'm not interested because of your nose, and you're too lazy, and you always sleep around with livestock.
You're long, you're lazy, you're half bald, you look kind of like a troll that's been living under a bridge for a couple months.
Kind of.
And you sound like if Gilbert Gottfried was being choked by a rubber chicken. Yeah, exactly. Why? I would want to go out with you is beyond me.
I just don't want to date camels with, like, 2 bumps. Come on.
Everybody's on with the 3
You have
bumps.
a problem with camels, huh?
If it's
Are you
It's just like boobs in the back. It's weird.
That's fine. When you go to hug them, you're groping them. It's perfect.
Usually,
Perfect.
all you have to say is, "I'm sorry, but I don't really feel that way." And it doesn't matter if you're saying it awkwardly like I just did, because you just say it and it's done, and it's the freedom. You can breathe again. It's a miracle.
And yeah, especially for them too, when it comes to recuperating from getting rejected, one of the most important things to remember is, for one thing, you move on, you can find somebody else, because they're not the only person in the world, and this person definitely wasn't perfect. Not every relationship is ever going to work out. I mean...
Well, I think an important thing to remember, and this is a rule of... an advice thingy for relationships in general, because I hear this a lot. People who get out of a relationship and they're like, "I'm never gonna love somebody again." And I think if you append like "I love this person" at the end, it's true, because every relationship is a little bit different, and you have to learn to appreciate the differences. It's like an exploration. Every experience is different. Doesn't mean that it's gonna be worth more or less. It's gonna be different. And you just gotta get used to that. And the more open you are to these sort of things, the easier it is. It's gonna get smooth. It's gonna get real smooth. It's like Jello, man.
All right then.
I just killed it, didn't I?
You killed it. It's dead. Particularly, I think Amonisis is dead.
Jello. Amonisis died. Okay. Well,
he's a dead carcass. No, he's still there.
I resurrected him. Or you did.
Something like that.
So people keep hitting on you, Sharp. Is that a thing?
Happens a lot. Yeah, I can think of a few back from MLP Chan, maybe a couple from Pony Chan. I have a lot of admirers, a lot of people that respect me, and a lot of people that I think 2 or 3 that a little bit more.
I like your avatar.
And I mean, you can have feelings for someone. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. You just have to know sometimes if they're not interested, don't push it on yourself, don't push it on them, because it just makes it easier for everyone if you just, you know what, it's not going to work, let's move on. Face the rejection and move on.
I do think that, and this is especially true for younger people.
Oh, yeah.
And this is not an intentional thing, it's not an intentional vice, but people who are becoming interested in the people, they have the very gross habits of objectifying people, because they barely know somebody, but they're willing to declare their undying love and they just want to claim this person. There's just a possessive sort of tint to it, and they get all weird when you've barely spoken to each other and you don't reciprocate. It's just, be a bit respectful. That's what I'm saying. This is the advice for the other side. Be a little respectful. And if you know somebody really well, and they haven't been really giving you any signs that they're not that they're also interested in you, and you made your feelings known, you can leave it at that. You don't actually have to go super in depth. It's like, "Oh, why don't you let me touch your nipples?" You don't actually have to ask that. It gets weird from there on.
You can touch Amonisis' nipples, though. He'd like that.
Oh,
I'm not quite against that. Just make sure that you're wearing something proper and nice. That's all I ask.
Like rubber gloves?
Also, make sure you're using some sort of,
hand sanitizer,
petroleum jelly or, like lotion or something, because I don't want chafed nipples.
Well, then you don't use petroleum jelly, actually. That's not a good thing. But this is a sort of advice that is not really appropriate for our show rating, I think.
Hey, you started it this time, not me.
Hey, I just mentioned nipples. Come on. Hey, Clark mentioned it.
I had to go from there. Come on. You know me. I couldn't just let it sit there.
Are you just taking it to its natural conclusion? Is that it?
Exactly. In order to get rid of something, you must first let it flourish.
So we ran this topic into discussion into the ground so far at an basement level. So let's ascend back to the topic. How about to the other two questions that actually both are also from the same person, from a friend of mine, Fano, who wrote in with a question, and he tweeted me a question. So which are we going to do first? How about
I don't
you?
pick them at random. Number between 1 and 369.8. 29.
Oh, you win! Excellently done, sir.
5.
Why don't you start us up here, sir?
With?
Read the one that you got via email.
Oh, you want me to read that one? Well, I'm not sure quite how to... It wasn't an email, it was on Tumblr. Let me open it up there.
I could translate it for you.
I didn't think we were actually going to answer this one. No offense to the person who dropped it in. He asked, ... ellipses, in the internet stone age and our equipment is not suited for the incredible programs and what have you that make internet friendships work. So it didn't entirely make grammatical sense, but if we do a little bit of translating here, and we make it look like it says, I'm in the internet stone age, and our equipment is not suited for the incredible programs and what have you that make internet friendships work, which makes sense.
And that is the lamentation, the statement, and
Yeah,
then the question afterwards
it's not a question.
is, what do I do now?
I think it's to assume that you need super fast, incredible, hardcore, high-speed, mega, what have you, internet to be able to have friendships online is quite
Well, it's suggesting that the
wrong.
friendship I had in the 90s weren't real.
Precisely. If you can have friends in the 90s on that internet with sticks and stones, when you just invented the wheel.
Or mucks and just chat rooms or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Diablo.
Hey, I played Diablo. It was a fantastic game.
There's something that's just tried to get up. I think it's a demon. Oh, it's a butcher. Oh, no.
I had good times playing Diablo 2. However, there are definitely, there's a lot of forums and stuff like that that don't require much internet. I mean, Skype is not the only source of anything. You can email people. I mean, it's better than nothing. If people a couple hundred years ago could write letters to each other, then you can certainly write an email. And people check those occasionally.
What is this letter in which you speak of? I'm not familiar with it.
I know, it's confusing business. You have to, write down on a piece of paper. You have to send it to someone. I've only ever had to send one letter in my life, and that was to Shade.
Send to someone?
And even
like
then,
an
I
email?
was confused. No, you put it in this envelope. You go to the post office.
What's an envelope?
Ask them for a cent. It's like a pocket for paper. It's a paper pocket. And then it comes it up so nobody can see what you're writing. It's quite convenient.
Extra pocket on your pants that you give to people?
Well, no.
So we're sending not these little letters via email in our pants?
It's like a jacket for paper, and you fold up this paper 3 times vertically, and then you put it inside, and then you seal it because it's got a little seal thing, and then you ask for a stamp.
So we're sending these jackets to people. Are they cold?
No.
Are these letters going to warm them up?
It's so that nobody can read what you're saying. It's private. It's
that's
concealed.
why you make sure your password is nice and secure.
On the piece of paper.
Is there a password for this?
Well, I'll keep that in mind. No, there isn't. And you just go to the post office lady.
So
you're like, hey, I gotta send this letter.
What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know.
Poor Fano. He was actually expecting a real answer.
I know it.
An answer to a statement, how do you answer a statement?
It might be a general lamentation, but you could still, apply feedback and insight. And when I says, what is your insight? Because I don't want to just jump into it because I know the guy, so I go last. I don't want to spoil the fake reality.
My insight. What's my insight into?
Your wisdom, your awesomeness, the thing that you do when you say nice things that aren't stupid. Let's see.
Oh, well, it comes from a place deep inside my heart, where I want the whole world to be just a little bit more awesome. So if I'm able to do something or say something that really kind of connects in that sort of way to make somebody, feel better about themselves or to inspire them to do something.
Okay, do that.
It really is tapping into that inner sense of drive, and it really starts kind of becoming this sort of momentous feeling.
That's
where
exactly
all my creative and intuitive statements just come alive.
Yes. And now, could you please share this magical ability with our listeners and help them out? Can you do that?
What's the question again?
He's such a professional. This guy doesn't have, quote unquote, suitable equipment, incredible programs that are needed to make internet friendships work. What do?
Make IRL friends.
There's one option. Yeah. I mean,
if you have not the equipment to make friends online, then you must take it upon yourself to do one or two things. Either A, get the equipment necessary, or find the equipment to be able to make you friends, or B, find real friends in real life. They're these polished, sort of naked pink creatures that you go talk to. And it's preferable to find some that are, somewhat like you in interest. If you find a person that is completely opposite of you in ways that are incompatible, then you're going to have a bad time. But if you find someone who has similar interests,
for example, they like shooting hedgehogs and you're a hedgehog, you're not compatible with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is my insight.
I don't think your advice is very helpful.
It's perfectly helpful. You know what?
It's very helpful.
Some of these creatures
or get friends IRL. That's generally how it has to go.
I'm actually leaning towards Sophia because I think.
I win again.
I'm leaning against you, but I'm not hitting on you. Don't worry, you don't have to reject me.
Darn. Who said I would reject you? Just kidding.
What?
Just kidding. What?
Oh yes. Like yes. Nipple.
Yeah, joke. Funny.
Nipple. Look, Ammonitis has nipples. Look. Let me just answer this predicament.
Quick, change the subject.
Because actually, I'm kind of agreeing with you in that it's not the technology, really. Technology makes certain things easier. Like, for example, he's my friend, and I'm this guy who runs around all day. I'm up doing these things, And for me, it's much easier to have the socialized thing in focused kernels in the day, which is like, talking with you guys on Skype. And Skype is really perfect for that. It's nice and focused. I can particularly talk. And I don't have a whole lot of, I don't have that ability or that sort of job lifestyle where I can just switch into the chat like every 20 minutes in the day and just write something new. I mean, I try that sometimes and it usually doesn't work because I end up just cooking and painting and then just like recording, whatever. And when I'm recording, I'm in the middle of a song and I'm just gonna tab into my chat or anything, that distracts me. I'm not like that. So it does make certain things a little bit more challenging potentially. You have less weapons in your arsenal, basically. But you can still have plenty of friendships, but you have to be a little bit more
resourceful.
Yeah, I guess a little bit more adventurous.
Mm-hmm.
If you were an introvert who makes a habit of basically lamenting on the inability to sustain the friendship that you have, you're not so likely to think like, well, let's make some new ones, because there's part of your brain telling you like, what makes you think that you can make these blossom the way that you want? And I think that ultimately there's this sort of a, not saying like, oh, you're depressed or something, but there's this element, this negative element that's sort of making you perceive things in negative light, where, you have that moment where when you're feeling bad, almost everything that you're experiencing today, not nice and not satisfactory. And when you're having a nice day, when you're feeling good, then there's things like, well, I'm just hanging out, man. It's okay. It doesn't have to be super awesome. And then everything is okay. So, I think this is sort of one of those. It's a trick question or it's not even a question, a trick lamentation. Because it's not, I don't think it's really the technology. And I think if you look at it in a different light, it's more like you do have friendships that are working. You're just not able to experience them as much as you'd like to. You're sort of cut off. And I know for a fact that he's living out in the swamps, the bayous, and there's not a whole lot of people except strange hunters that live nearby that shoot at random intervals at night with their shotguns. You know, that doesn't seem like, again, he might be a hedgehog. So, you know.
This hunter might be a hedgehog? What?
No, that's not the hunter. The guy who's right.
The hedgehog, hunter in the bayou.
Thano is a hedgehog. You hear that, Thano? You're a hedgehog. Watch out for the hunters. Don't let them get you, man.
Gotta go fast, go fast, go fast. Gotta go fast.
Or you can ask Tails to give you a lift. Oh, where am I taking this?
Or if you're hanging out with Knuckles, you can turn you into a punch club.
So, Thano also asked another question. Actually, it wasn't a question. It was a
statement. He asked a statement.
Actually, it was a topic suggestion that he's also given us for us to talk about when it comes to the internet topic. Let me just scroll here. This is exactly how it's done, professional radio. Let me see.
The best way to do it.
I want to quote it correct.
It's understandable.
Yeah, this is exciting. This is exciting radio. You cannot believe the excitement of this radio episode. It's
I can believe it.
Exciting. Ah, here. Want to go sailing? Oh, you could talk about emoticons and times to use them.
Emoticons.
Sailing away.
Oh no.
Then open toes for the Virgin Sea. And then I'll stop there before 6-2's
Oh, I was actually gonna seek that into Boat on the River. Which I think is a better song. But he's like a captain, seafarer person thingy. So,
will you hold me in your arms as I open my arms over the bow? And draw me like one of your French girls?
Show me your fat nipples.
Yes, I take off my shirt. They all have berets and little curly mustaches, smoking cigarettes and eating a baguette.
Hey guys, how about I give the wrong answer to this question, and then you guys can give the correct answer to the question, because I have the wrong one in my head right now. The time to not use, or how not to use emoticons is as follows. You decide, hey, I like this person. Let's engage them in conversation. And your conversation is, close bracket. And then the other person goes, hi. And then you go, hi, close bracket. And if they say nothing,
I know
for a minute,
wrong answer to that would be A == B tilde.
Can't argue with that logic.
And they go, and you just end up going, they're not responding to me, so let's just send them another another query opens up, and it's axon circumflex _ axon circumflex. And it's just, suddenly you're blocked, and you wonder why. And in other words, emoticons do not replace conversation. they can be used as flavor enhancements, like, you know, MSG or something.
Okay.
Or however it's pronounced, whatever.
Word MSG with 100% less cancer.
Oh,
Cancerous.
that's special.
But you know what's
how
funny?
do you use? Where is this completely awesome when you're using smileys? Yeah, that's a colloquial term, guys. Emoticons? Smileys. Okay. Just putting it out there, man.
I love smileys, man. I love them.
Yeah, you use some smileys sometimes. I personally, I like, :3 and capital D.
Yep, best ones.
My most used smiley is capital X, capital T.
Oh, yeah. That's so you.
Such quality radio. We should talk about the actual topic, unless you have more questions that we've neglected for the last 37 and 5 seconds.
You're just going like, as if this particular issue isn't important or anything. It's emoticons, man.
It's not important. First world problems, my friend.
Serious business. Come on. Well, the actual topic, since we had that episode where we discussed it, I mean, it's not like we're going to regurgitate everything we said. But, I guess, Sarv, could you share with us because I know you're itching. You're itching, and I'm not talking about your nipples. I'm talking about your brain, man. You're itching to share with us your philosophies on how to not be a jerk on the internet. Go!
You'll have to give me a second because I'm out of it right now.
You lost your speech?
I lost my speech. It's completely gone.
So I tried to prompt you.
Disappeared. No more.
Also prompt.
You know where you lost it?
No.
Maybe
it's gone. If I knew I lost it, it wouldn't be lost.
Remember, it's always in the last place you look.
Okay. I got a trick for finding it. Me and Ammonitis are going to talk about it, and then you're going to interrupt us, and we're going to let you talk. This is how it's going to go. This is serious business.
Serious business, or like just serious business? So are we talking serious business? Because I mean that's serious. That's serious business.
So we can continue with the advice column. Yeah! We try our best to make sure that our friend can find food so that he can respond to you.
Okay, Manisis, if you ever wandered the internet and then came across this jerk face who just said all sorts of bad things about you, like, your face is so ugly, ha 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 ha, and then you thought, hey, wait a minute, that's not quite true, you haven't even seen my real face, this is my real face, and then they keep laughing at you, and you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense, my face is quite sophisticated, let me show you all the dimensions of my face, and then they keep laughing at you, and you just wonder, where did it go wrong?
At this point in time, I'm wondering why I'm thinking this all in a weird European voice as a higher timbre than I am. I love you, Shade.
Okay.
Anyways, to answer your question, I actually, because of my nature on the internet, tend to get a little bit of backlash from the less tolerant people out there. So,
you honest.
Take it, basis by basis. If it's something I can just brush off, I just brush it off. If it's not, then I deal with it accordingly. And for your answer, my face is absolutely beautiful.
Oh.
Well, it's open to interpretation, but let's move on.
He found his voice.
I found my voice. It was just lost somewhere, and it was like, I bought a new one. Like, you know what? Let's move on.
Move on?
Move on.
Was it it?
No.
Don't be a jerk on the internet, people.
Don't be a jerk. Jesus says don't be a
chicken.
What we said, the last time you went for this show, and I hope this is not the secret that just makes it end up a mishmash, you kind of have to seek out the places that don't give you a negative charge, where, if some forum is giving you a bad time, don't stick around, The masochists have a special haven. It's called 4chan. If you like that sort of thing, you go there. But if you don't, and you go to some forum and people are just being jerks, or just you don't feel like it's really a nice, addition to your life, you don't have to stay there. In fact, this works for almost anywhere on the internet. There's always a button hidden somewhere in your interface of choice where you can go away. It's like somebody harasses you somewhere, you don't have to actually write 16 million live journal posts about that or blog about it, how this jerk is messaging you. You just hit the block button and it's done. It's gone. Problem solved. And if some person is going to your piece of wondrous artwork and say, Lord, is that done with MS Paint? I could draw better with my eyes closed. Oh! And then you go, okay.
Okay.
And you move on. You say, okay. And because if you end up spending less time and energy on the dialogue than they did, they lose interest. That's how it works.
And I mean, when you don't go through the physical and mental effort of responding to half that stuff, and, you can write out your rant and stuff like that. I've done this many times. You write out your big, long rant in response to whatever it is they're saying, and then you just delete it, close the page, never see them again. And the beauty of the internet is that once you close that page, the likelihood of you actually meeting this person again are very, very low, depending on what kind of place you're at. But you're not really going to see them again. So it's especially true of YouTube and places like that. If you just close the page and ignore them, life moves on, nobody really cares, because it's just another thing on the internet.
I kind of agree with what both of you guys are saying. For the individual, doing that is perfectly fine, and for a lot of your stress needs are very accessible, and if you're not looking to really get in a fight with anyone, I'd say that's the way to go. On the flip side, however, if you're part of this online forum or you go to the site on a regular basis where you hang out with friends, and then all of a sudden there's an influx of, less than savory posters that just don't seem to quite go away. And the more you ignore them, the more they just sort of settle themselves in there, and other people doing the exact same thing that you guys just prescribed start leaving, and this website that you love so much starts degrading. Maybe it's high time that you stand your ground and you become somewhat of I wouldn't say an aggressor, but assertive in your stance that they are not doing your site or yourself any good. And thus you stick to your guns, you stay by your post, and you stay with it until you end up just kind of making them so irritated by yourself that they in turn leave.
I think in that scenario, I want to say something there. First of all, one of the things, drawing attention to yourself is going to attract those types of people. That's the biggest thing there. And if you're going to make that kind of...
in a situation where those types of people are already there. And it's right that you just kind of grew to love, and there's still people there that are no longer feeling that kind of cool about it. In that sense, you would draw them away from them, and it would just kind of focus the attention on you until they turn around. Because, it's funny for a while, but in time, it does get boring, and your message starts getting across clearer and clearer.
It's very, that in itself, that whole scenario, I understand that you're drawing from a real-life thing, obviously. It's a very unique scenario. That's not something that the everyday internet user is necessarily going to run into, or,
I know, that's
forgive me for saying this, but really care about. It's best in that type of a scenario, first of all, to remain relatively neutral. Don't go out of your way to be the aggressor. But you kind of mentioned sticking to your guns. That's a good point, because you don't have to give up entirely what you're saying or just close it and move on and have to be the one to walk away all the time.
Maybe.
Yeah, because that's what I absolutely don't like, when somebody, just up and walks away, and it seems like the other guy just wins, and then over time, this place just changes into something kind of unsavory.
Yeah.
You know, if you stick to your guns and, you know, stand by your position, sure, you're going to get trolled up to hell and back, but
Yes.
it does create like a champion of sorts.
No.
No, that's going a little bit too far there, I think.
I think you're...
No, I disagree. I think,
you
think someone is able to do that.
I haven't even mentioned my point. You can't even disagree with me yet. You have to wait your turn, and then you can disagree with me. Okay? See, I think you have to sort of know how to pick your battles, because 99 times out of 100 in this scenario, what's going to happen is you're going to dedicate your time in basically fighting off these trolls. And the more you do it, the more they enjoy it, and the more victorious they feel. Because it doesn't matter if you say that they are yellow or whether they are red, because to them, the very fact that you're responding to them, whether it's peaceably or aggressively, it's all the same to them. Because
in these situations, I know that it's not really the trolls that I care about, even though you're responding to them. It's the people around you that would otherwise have the same opinion, but are too afraid to stick up. This is not a situation where it's you v. troll. It's you making the other people see your point. It's your opinions and your ideas. And they can join in if they want to or not, and they can just watch or move on. But the idea is that you're creating a symbolic stance for them to stand by, as opposed to just letting these trolls come and roll around and do whatever. I say that's a lot more better to look at than just seeing a bunch of, you know, lol crap.
Again, you're going into a very...
You make your opinion known, and you make your statements. And you can make it nice and long-winded, and you can make it nice and nuanced and all that. But you can't spend, like, all this time of your life in repeating these statements. That's you kind of have to know how to pick your battles, and unfortunately the internet, I know it might sound a little bit pessimistic, but, you know, sometimes some places just get ruined, and you have to either find a way to initiate a sort of like a system where not everybody can just walk on in.
It's going to do what it does, but you can choose to do what you want to do. And if that's to make a statement, even if you do not win, it still is something that other people look at and see happening. So even if you lose completely and nothing really changes, people will remember your actions taken that day and that thread and whatnot. And even if it's a battle chosen or it's a battle that just came to you, it's still a battle that was fought. And I say, you know, it's important to look at what they are trying to stand for. And I'm saying that in those special cases where that's what you're trying to do, then go for it. In any other case, you know, learning how to walk away and learning how to not take things personally or seriously, I say is also a good thing if you're looking at the individual self. However, if you are trying to make a statement, make a stand against that kind of ideology in general, I say stay where you are and let yourself be this kind of person, and others will follow.
Maybe. Is my professional opinion about that.
It's a very, again, the scenario that you're talking about, Amonisis, is a very, very, very exclusive situation that's not going to happen to most of the internet.
Nah, I think it happens.
Okay, it happens. Okay, I understand what you mean.
And I think it's good to know
one of these scenarios, like I understand exactly what you mean, and I admire your point. However, I think a lot of what you're talking about isn't something that it's something that you act a certain way. These trolls, these people that I hate the word, but these people that are there just for kicks, trying to get a reaction out of people. That's the reaction that they're looking for, and you're doing exactly what they want. It doesn't necessarily influence them to leave, because it's giving them a reason to stay.
I'm saying if they're there and they're going to continue to be there and do what they do, it doesn't matter at that point if they're specifically focusing on you, because it's still happening, regardless of what you're doing. So you might as well take that stance.
I guess I have difficulty in seeing the championship in that, because to me it's kind of like standing on the beach and just screaming at the tide, you know?
Oh, I held on, you know, screaming at the tide. Damn you, tide!
Go back where you came from! It's because it's what you're talking about. I mean, it's not like you're talking about winning and losing. It's not like the soldiers of the enemy faction are coming in or something like that. It's just a bunch, and I hate to say this, it's just a bunch of kids who don't know any better. And you're just gonna sing and be instructions, and that's it.
The way you're talking about being champion, quote unquote, you're giving them a little more credit to what they actually are. They're not some insanely, and I think a lot of rather immature people on the internet have the same thing. They kind of...
People still have consequences with their actions, even if they are just regular, little trolls. Like 99.9% of the time, it's not going to matter that much. But there's still that one little percentile of the time when a random stupid-ass clove kid do some damage. And I'm just saying,
I think the problem is that
in those specific areas, knowing how to do that is a very good thing to have.
I think the problem is that many people, they kind of relate a troll to some kind of evil force on the internet, when really, if you look at it almost from their perspective, they're not doing anything so much as wrong. And now, bear with me for a second. They're just, really, like Shade said, they're just kids out there to have fun. And it's, when it looks at things from their perspective, they're not taking things as seriously as what everybody else is. They're just kind of doing things because they can. It's maybe to some people it's a rebellion thing, but it's not like they're out to make everyone's life a misery, and
taking out the rapier won't fix that that issue. I mean, some people just log on the internet and say just leave all those consequence thingies behind and just hide behind anonymity, and that's just the nature of it. And I think, most people on the internet should know that for what it is and not try to make something else out of it. But I do appreciate what you're saying, though. I mean, it's nice to make a nice statement, but it's not a fight. And going to 4chan and then making a post for everybody to behave, it's not going to make it different.
No, especially not. I don't think that's
what
the
I'm
nicest
saying
thing,
is I think many people are too blasé about it. A lot of the internet could be a lot better if some people just stood up and said something else instead of just letting a bunch of people roll in.
Let me stop you.
The internet needs to change, and that some people should rebel against those who are rebelling by being anonymous jerkwads on the internet. That, to me, is much more important than just letting them do whatever they want and having to switch from place to place, go on and on in a circle like that.
I think there is a way to do that, but I don't think it's necessarily done by
it's not necessarily done by that. I understand that, but
I think the best way to do it is to be that much of a better person and do that much more on the internet.
I agree.
Positive.
It isn't really necessary to have this super aggressive stance against them. I mean, it is aggressive though. It is, because you're taking them as this force that you need that has to be dealt with, when in reality it really doesn't. I mean, look at things from their perspective. 90% of them, they're having fun. Like I keep saying that, but they're just having fun. So, I mean, what wrong are they doing? If they're just kind of taking this seriousness away, they're taking drama away from it. Many of them are. Okay, there are some of them that they do a little bit further than that. Okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that.
Drama would do the world some good, I think.
I would largely disagree, but that's not something I'm going to really divulge into now. There's a mosquito flying around my face.
Attack the talk! Attack him! Attack mosquito!
I guess you're winning this battle.
Again, they're not this force that has to be dealt with. Because, I mean, live and let live. Come on, man.
I guess what you're saying is that even a well-phrased, nuanced post is a form of... I guess it's like breaking out the rapier. It's a fencing blade. And this is the sort of nuanced thing that yeah, maybe one or two people will be slightly impressed by it. Like, oh, it's it's kind of like, oh, gay bashers, and then you're like saying like, oh, well, this and that, and another person who might be getting bashed will be like, oh, that's a nice argument. But that's basically all you're going to accomplish. You're not going to be able to.
Getting your opinion and thoughts out there still affects other people, even if it doesn't really deal with control.
That's what I
You need to let people know that there are others out there that think the same way as you. The one problem I find is that a lot of people feel kind of isolated in their ideas and whatnot, and they are afraid to stand up for it. I think the idea of allowing your opinion to be known, even if it's clashing against the total, don't feed the trolls mentality, is doing a lot more harm than it is good for the internet at large. I think it's kind of leading to this culture of insincerity that happens in many places around the internet, and that over time it stagnates and becomes this thing that it shouldn't really be. It should be able to flourish into this kind of plethora of ideas and new possibilities, but because people are, abstaining away from, addressing those issues that come at you, it's keeping it avoidant. It's keeping it closed. It's not allowing it to be something greater than it is.
I think it's more fragmented, but I think it's actually not necessarily a bad thing. Because, if you're going to, like, popular YouTube videos, let's take YouTube, and trying to have that be a platform, a forum for interesting discourse, I think with the volume of people, you're gonna have to look at it as a frat house, basically. It's just the baseline is going to be drunk and shouting, because that's basically where we are as a human species right now. But there are places, there are rooms with like the more hidden areas of the YouTubes where people actually are discussing the subject matter. I've seen it happen. It's
way over it happens.
Interesting. Whoa! What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you saying? Oh,
have an honest debate on YouTube. What?
What's happening?
Never mind.
Nice things on YouTube. But what I'm saying is, it's similar to, if you're walking the streets in a big city, if you're gonna try to educate everybody and try to treat everybody as an individual, you're gonna waste your time. But if you're walking around in a small village, or you're going to a particular area where like 5 people are hanging out or something, you can treat them as an individual. You'll get way more bang for your buck, basically.
Letting your opinions be known, even in a large city setting like that, even if barely anyone listens, there's still going to be 1 or 2 people that know. And if they have the courage to come talk to you, that's a couple more people that sympathize with you, and you can, spread the idea more and more, and have more people stand and say their opinions in various corners, get more people come in and accumulate higher and higher numbers until you get this kind of large faction on the same side of you. I think it's a lot more important to be able to say what you want out there, even if it doesn't, on the surface, seem like it's doing anything. It's not wasting your time, even if it doesn't meet that kind of
you shouldn't voice your opinion or something. I'm saying that in this particular case, I can't help but think of this cloaked, robed person in the corner talking about Judgment Day coming, when you're trying to, do it in this extremely public, big city atmosphere, Do you get what I'm saying, yo?
I think I do, but I don't really think it applies.
Well,
it's not like I'm saying it's doomsday. I'm saying it's more of a, taking a stand
against what you're giving them far too much credit, and I think you're being, I apologize for saying this now, but
completely underestimating them is what I think.
Well, no, because it's not like it's some organized force. It's a general.
It's not an organized force. I understand that, but they still have a great, effect on people and people's lives and people's mental life.
Well, who is they exactly? How do you define the
people
term?
That do that sort of stuff. The people that go out there and troll.
What sort of stuff exactly?
Who just kind of do stuff without caring, even though they have very much real consequences on other people's minds, even if it's just kind of making them feel bad for a day.
Give them 10 years.
Individual things that do build up over time.
10 years, they might be a real person by then.
I think
they'll remember something like that, or maybe not. I don't know.
That's being a little, again, for one, very general, and for another point, it's being a little negative towards them, because they're not necessarily all those things. They're just kids out to have fun sometimes. It's not a they, it's not a them. They're not a group. It's just a term to describe someone that's just out to
have very real effects. It doesn't matter if they're, just kids having fun. I understand that. A lot of times I think that it's just some, they're having silly fun, anonymous fun. And I mean, it's a psychological thing. When you take the identity away from someone, they'll act whatever. I understand that. However, I think in just letting it be is not really the positive way to go about it. I think being able to let them know that despite their anonymous nature, they are still having effects on people. I think allowing them to know that is, in fact, doing them better than just ignoring them and allowing them to just kind of culminate in a culture that supports that.
With all due respect, I completely disagree, because if everyone ignores them and doesn't make a point of blowing it out of proportion to more than it is, because, again, with all due respect, you're kind of blowing it out of proportion, because there's no need to give them, if they go in, it's hard to describe what a troll is, because this person you're describing, that type of quote-unquote troll, is extremely rare, because that is not what every single one of them are doing. No.
It's everyone.
No. How do you define that, then?
It's not a specific person.
How do you speak on behalf of every single one of them?
It's the idea, the general nature of the troll to, make fun of people like that and do stuff like that. And it's that negative feedback on other people that negatively affects others.
Now,
it's more or less a degree of thing. But it still is a consequential thing.
There is no general nature of the troll. Because it's such a vague
If there was not a general nature of the troll, there wouldn't be a general rule of saying, do not feed the troll. If it wasn't a general thing, it wouldn't have a general thing.
This term of a troll,
it wouldn't even have a name.
Yes, Shade, please, by God, please.
Guys, calm down. Hold your horses. Well,
I hold my pity horses.
Hold them close and comb their manes. But actually, I kind of agree with the sentiment that it is kind of a bad element of society, but I can't help but think that, if people learn to shrug more, this impact will decrease. The negative impact that you're talking about, it will decrease. And I think in time, as people, as society as a whole, evolves and matures in dealing with the internet, this phenomenon will change mutate into different things, and as a whole, I think, mature and become better. But I guess we have to agree in certain aspects here that we disagree a little. It can happen.
A little bit.
Quality ratio.
No, it is good.
Banter.
I think we have a good conversation.
It was something.
But I just want to kind of go
out there. Great. So good.
Did you get it all out? No, you didn't.
No,
I didn't get it all out.
I didn't get it all out, but...
I can say more, but you know what? Let's end it there. Let's not go back into it for another half hour of radio of arguing.
Is that going to be the topical discussions, just us rambling about trolls? I want to say, I think I just did that already. I think part of the experience of the internet should be knowing when to shrug and not be treating everything too seriously.
To quote,
part of it is knowing when to stand up.
Oh no, here we go again.
Here we go again. No,
I'm just saying, there's two sides to it. It's duality. Learn how to shrug and learn how to stand. You know how to be close and you're good.
To quote a wise man, never take yourself too seriously. And then you don't really have to take others too seriously. Just live and let live.
No, it's okay. If you're in the right location or something, it is okay to reach out to your fellow man, as it were. But what I'm saying is, if somebody just throws you a paper airplane with a turd or something, close the window.
Fucking paper airplane with a turd.
Yeah, you close the window, and it's just, yeah.
Oh, that is like the funniest image in my head right now.
It is rather, So is that the internet topic? Do we have anything more to add to this?
No.
Let's
Nothing else.
Extra audience participation. Write in. You can write in with crusadersadvice@gmail.com or go to the Ask Advice and whatever blog.
Ask-advice and blog.tumblr.com.
That's what I said. Ask Advice dash whatever.
Dash whatever. Let's not dash whatever.
Yo,
whatever your face,
do that.
man.
And all that. I also have some, since it's a banter show, I got something to ease us out of it. I've got some,
so much for lighthearted banter. That was not lighthearted.
On the internet.
That was heated.
Yeah. Actually, these are updates, if you guys are ready. Do you guys remember the bridge theft in Turkey?
Yeah.
I remember you telling us about that. Where a bunch of people just stole a bridge overnight.
Yes. Now they're in Veendam. They are in the Netherlands. There's mischief afoot, Veendam, which is up in the north of the Netherlands. And this took place like the 19th of April. And it says 40 manhole covers were stolen in Veendam. Somebody's building a sewer system. Help! Okay. Over the past couple of weeks, more than 40 manhole covers have been stolen. The police has no idea who took them and calls for witnesses to report in. It should be kind of conspicuous. Somebody with manhole covers is carrying them around in the evening. Also, the holes in the road are causing dangerous situations, so the police report. Especially bikers are in danger in the dark, cycling around and running into a hole in the ground. The municipality of Veendam will quickly supply a new manhole cover after each theft to hopefully prevent accidents. This is an enormous cost, of course. One manhole cover, which weighs in around 20 kilos, which, if you want to know how much it weighs in America, just Google. I don't have any more jokes. I say, it's about like 50, let me translate that. It's about 60 normal size vials of maple syrup. Like 60. And it costs
50 kilograms is 110 pounds.
Yeah, I just said 60 vials of maple syrup. And it costs about 100 euros. That's about $140 and 2 grade C maple syrup vials. Okay, the police suspects that they will be sold as old iron. But I know better. It's gonna be a sewer system, let's be honest here. Okay. There's more, of course.
There's always more.
More! Another
update
on the things that we
The
care
world never
about.
ends.
Are you guys ready for more? You think you can handle it? So this is around that time of year, huh? It's remembering what happened during the Second World War and all that.
I'm taking off my hat now.
Yes.
And we had some news about that the last time we did this. But now we had a journalist who wrote a book, did research, because there were other minorities that were ruined during the Second World War, and any Nazi-occupied country had to deal with, it wasn't just black people, communist gypsies, gays, Jews, dissidents, also cats. cat.
Now, are we talking about,
meowing.
like, cat people, or?
No, not cat people, so those actually didn't exist. Those started existing during the 90s. Come on, get with the time. Okay, well, this is basically delving into the pure breeding of cats, basically. Purebred cats got preferential treatment during Nazi-occupied. This particularly takes research into the Netherlands, because the journalist is Dutch. Why is this, all these items Dutch? What's happening? Well, this guy wrote a book. It's like The Oppressed Cat and Resistance during 1940 to 1945. Okay, there was basically racial politics at work when distributing cat food. See, purebred cats got, you know, they possibly got some food coupon, but Jewish cats got nothing, of course. Very important. Presumably, this is because pure cats should be protected. You know, this is to become the Uber Katze, basically.
The Uber.
Also, it's cats that were good at fighting mice, because at the time you have to understand that cats weren't, you know, our personal bonsai trees to make us feel appreciated or something. They were mostly there to fight mice and all that. So cats that could destroy mice with eye lasers. They got lots of food.
Wait, laser cat?
Yeah.
God, I thought that was an SNL skit.
Oh. Well, you haven't ever played Command & Conquer Red Alert? Those Tesla coils? They actually got cats. Cat eye lasers. But unfortunately, the result of this was that we got undesired cats walking the streets, and those were turned into meat. So basically, the non-purebred cats, they got eaten. Yeah, that's basically the gist of this. And it's not completely clear what happened to all of the war cats. Although some research was done into the cat of Anne Frank. You see, there we have her again. Follow-up story. Quite probably, cat was taken by the asylum during 1944, when the health of the cat Mortje decreased. And probably she got killed there at the asylum, because she's not a purebred cat. So, now we know. This silence is perfect.
Sorry, we're having a discussion about cats.
Impact! The impact was so big, you guys are just, whoa.
So I assume, Shade, that Leo Heartship is a friend of yours, maybe from Twitter or something like that? Is that possible?
What, where?
This person named Leo Heartship tuned in, and is now following us on Tumblr. In fact, no. Oh, goodness.
Maybe
where did you come from?
Anyways, the idea is we were, when you were discussing about Nazi cats and whatnot, somebody said that cats were on the internet, and I said, so are ponies, and they're kind of like cats if you roll them in paint and put ice cream cones on their head. So then they asked about,
like
Mega cats and Earth cats, and I'm going to sell them 5 for like $3,000. You know, it's a small amount of money for that kind of cat.
I would buy a Mega cat.
Just as thinking, the Nazi ideology actually wasn't about the human race. It was about the Uberkatze, and the Uberkatze would have a horn and wings, and be a princess.
It's an Alacat.
It's true. That was what was the idea all along. And it's well known that Hitler was a pretty good animal lover, vegetarian, and did quite a few good things for animal rights.
They come from
Too bad about all the killing and all that and all the oppression and all that. But other than that, he did some good things. And you gotta judge people by the good things they did, right? You look at the side.
Oh, wow.
Be thoughtful.
Oh, man. Alicorn cat. Alley cat.
Alley cat. Woo!
Oh, alley cat. That's so funny. Is it an alley cat or an alley cat?
Alley cat.
Oh. So what are we gonna talk about next time? We're gonna do that one topic thingy?
That one topic thing. Well, we're gonna discuss high school.
I will sell you an alley cat for $5,000, Leo.
The dreaded topic that it is, and I think actually all three of us have already been through. Well, yeah, all three of us have been through it.
I feel myself exploding with trauma. And
trauma. On a random note, I had to go to my high school a couple of weeks ago to pick up a yearbook from last year. I've just graduated my first year out into freedom, and yeah, I remember why I hate it, and I never want to have to go back there again.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Terrifying place and not great memories.
Bravo. You know,
but that's going to be our topic thing for those of you who are still going through it, who are going to be going through it, or who want to reminisce on the terrifying nature of it.
There's not a day that goes by in my life where I don't think, whoa, I'm not in school anymore. When I wake up in the morning, it's like, I don't have to go to school. You know,
well, some of us have to go to work, Shade, so you know what? You're an exclusive case.
Someone who's graduating college here in a couple of weeks. Remember, folks, college is so much better than high school.
I've heard the same, yeah.
Sure. Well, whatever works, man.
Whatever, floats your boat.
If it works and doesn't kill you, then, yeah.
Fantastic. 2 thumbs up.
And that's awesome.
3 thumbs up. You know what? You get 3 thumbs up.
If for some reason you make it through school, I know this is kind of leading into next week's topic, but whatever, I gotta say this while it's on my mind. If somehow you make it through school without feeling the urge to cut yourself and die,
you're doing good.
And, yes, not only that, but if you ever, meet younger people, don't ever get the nerve to tell them that what they're doing right now is the best moment in their life, because not everybody is as lucky as that. Who are like that.
High school is the second worst thing, for most people. Middle school is the worst thing for most people.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of on par for me.
UCS is indicated by society to suffer at this point when you're in school. You have to suffer, and you have to suffer through it. You have to suffer so bad that you think it can get worse, and then you will graduate, and it will get worse. And then when you're done, when you're finally done with all the schools, it's over, and you can try to be a real person. So until then, you just have to learn how to not die.
It's like Muhammad Ali said, I hated training, but I told myself, suffer through it, and then one day you'll become a champion. Suffer through school, you'll become a champion.
Yeah,
everything is a lot better after.
It's not necessarily voluntarily done,
Yeah, that's a good point.
That comparison doesn't really go. But other than that, it sounds nice.
I'm a martial artist. It works for me.
Okay, it works for you. Not for me, though.
Oh, that's fine.
I could abide by what Shade said. I don't know. I don't think either me or Amadisis could quite have it as bad as what probably Shade had, because back in the 90s and stuff like that, for me, bullying really wasn't a thing. I never really experienced much of it. The one bully that ever decided to tease me actually apologized 2 years later, sent me this big long Facebook message saying how he was sorry and he's turned his life around. I'm like, you know what?
Wow.
That's cool. I'm impressed by that. So,
wow.
Yeah, that was the only guy that ever, and he didn't even get to me, so it was like, yeah, whatever, man. But then I had a friend that actually got to the point that quite a few times, he used to bring knives to school, hiding in his locker, he'd have these throwing knives that he got, yeah.
I was gonna say that, I'm not gonna say, my suffering was worse than yours, because it's just, everybody has their own terrible little experience and his own little private hell. And nobody, it's not a concept, it's not you got the war casualty with one leg, whining about the one had lost both his legs, that's just silly. But now that you mentioned that you didn't get bullied, I'm gonna say, yeah, maybe my suffering was worse, but other than that, yeah, it still flies, what I just said, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Everybody
into
has
that
different
more
experiences, that's for sure. But yeah, we'll go into that next week.
Right then.
Yeah, write in questions, stuff like that. We love questions.
Actually, just write in with your stories, man. If you have a nice story about how you not die, how it got better, how you not died.
How you not died.
How you not died.
I not died.
You know, it's like that It Gets Better campaign that went on by the, what was it called again? Gay suicide hotline thingy. I forgot the name. Oh my goodness, I'm terrible. So unrehearsed. I'll check it out during the week and I'll get back to you on that. But I did a campaign, like, it's called Better. They got all these gay people or sexual deviants, whatever you want to call them. And then they told a story basically how it got better. And so I would like to propose that we do this with school. So tell us how we managed to not kill ourselves and actually become a person after feeding ourselves through school. I think it will be a nice uplifting episode with potential nice trauma bombs dropped in left and right. But we'll plant flowers over that because after the war, we build houses. And we decorate!
Oh my god, we're gonna decorate, everything's gonna look
Oh my
fabulous.
goodness, I'm gonna paint ponies all over the place. Oh my goodness.
Oh, you gotta make sure they're matching. You don't want things to clash. I mean,
I want the rainbow ponies everywhere, rainbows left and right. Oh my god.
Okay, fine. You can have Rainbow Dash everywhere, but make sure that the colors are
so pretty.
You don't want to break that.
Her
and
eyes
having 6
are
colors
so
and
pretty.
thing, it's not gonna work. Unless if you do it consistently.
Are you gonna paint little apple blooms all over the wall? Oh my goodness, this will be so pretty.
Oh my god, yes, totally yes. And just as a kind of a little bit of a treat to myself, I'm gonna have one on the door, and it's gonna actually have a bow on it. Ooh!
Oh my goodness! Wow, you go, girl.
That's completely extravagant.
Yes, I do. Oh, yeah. Work.
All right then. Let's
I think we killed Star.
Dead.
Right. Right into the show.
Just gone. Well,
yeah.
So
that's it, guys.
Upcoming stuff. Well, that's not. Excuse me. Upcoming stuff. A few things. We very possibly are going to have a new segment added to our show. This guy that's actually got a lot of experience with radio. He does all our art and stuff like that for those watching the stream. 1 moment.
Yay. Yeah, some of that artwork is really cool.
It is pretty good. He's done a couple things for us. He does our posters every week. Really cool guy. We're gonna have a new segment. I'm doing Team Fortress 2 announcing come Saturday for a tournament. Don't know details, stuff like that, but I will post on the Tumblr. Please.
You're just using this show as your advertising platform.
You know what some people might
you're just selling out, you're going solo with your personal private career. Is that what it is? You're just using us?
You guys can do your things. This is my thing.
Am I being used right now?
This is my thing. You guys... No, on this website, Pony Fortress 2. They're doing a tournament on Saturday, and I'm going to be, shameless self-advertising. Yes, I have no shame whatsoever. You guys talk about your thing. You guys both did your things, and you went, this is my thing now. I'm doing...
I didn't do anything.
Yes, you did. You did the thing with the thing, you know? The thing!
The thing?
The thing! The other thing in the plate.
But if you want me to plug everything I'm doing, it will take hours.
Let him do his thing.
But okay, you're doing your little thingy, you're gonna be like, oh my god, no, this guy is shooting this other guy, oh my god, no.
Well, it was more
I'm doing a thing too. It's not like professional level, but it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I've listened to a couple of these guys that I'm gonna be doing it with, so I
finally brought up the name of it too. Oh, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, Let's Play Review, Tumblr, Twitter, Pony Express, Taco Truck Special.
That's fantastic. How is anyone supposed to remember that?
Well, it's long as hell. That's what it is.
Well, they're gonna practice, and then when they're done, it's stuck in their head.
Forever.
And then they have to, they have to watch it. So people, do the homework. Listen back to this recording a couple of times to get it right. Get it in your head. and then wait for the subliminal messages to appear in your head.
$10 says he gives up after 2. What is that supposed to mean?
Don't forget to donate money.
Yeah, no. I'm not doing that. That's the worst idea.
This is a joke. Welcome to the show.
I'll show you a joke.
Not always
Your face.
serious. Do not forget to give me your money. Ooh. If you do not give me your money, things will go badly. You will not fall in love.
What's the currency that they use in Europe again? Is it like chocolate coins or something? Send us chocolate coins, because that sounds delicious.
Jelly beans.
Jelly beans, okay. That works too. Give me some jelly beans.
Well, give me some jelly beans, but without the artificial coloring agents at gelatin, please.
Well, unless you two folks have anything else to add, I think we can actually have it wrapped up from there. We are at 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 32 seconds.
And on that note, have a nice day. And Tony with great vigor